morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. If you're not following the Republican presidential nomination process, it's worth watching just simply for the amusement purposes. In addition to Donald Trump, of course, last night, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, in an argument about increasing violence in the United States, stated flatly that the majority of violent murderers and criminals in the country are Democrats. The worst deluge in over a century has struck India's southern Tamil Nadu state, paralyzing the area of Chennai, causing floods, closing offices, factory, and an airport in a metropolis of about 9 million people. Already, insurance industry observers are likening the event to the Thailand floods of several years ago. Chennai is a huge industrial technological center. Numerous Western companies, including Ford Motor, Tata Consultancy, Infosys, Daimler Chrysler, Cognizant Technology Solutions, Hyundai, Natco Pharma, etc., are in the area. The area has been absolutely deluged. The airport has been closed down and will not open for weeks. A number of commercial jetliners are there, and the floods are up to the wheel levels. Meanwhile, rescue teams of over 600 people are heading into the area to try to bring people out. In many instances, TV footage has shown water rising to the necks of people who are in the area still. Worse, the government of India's meteorological department is forecasting precipitation and thunderstorms in the area until at least the 7th of December. 5 people were injured yesterday when a pipe bomb exploded on an overpass near an Istanbul metro station on the European side of the city. The mayor said that the explosion hit the industrial and residential area near the height of the evening rush hour last night. The Associated Press reported that subway services throughout Istanbul were immediately shut down. The blast was smaller than the ones in Ankara earlier this year, which were believed to have been carried out by Islamic State militants. Meanwhile, on the same day, a Turkish Airlines flight traveling from Istanbul to Frankfurt was diverted after passengers on board discovered an unattended, seemingly unowned cell phone. The pilots immediately hit the panic mode, according to a UK newspaper, and the plane with 124 passengers landed in Nuremberg, Germany, where it was met by federal police who searched the plane. It's not yet been determined whether or not the device was simply a lost phone or whether in fact it was explosive. Meanwhile, at the same time, the Turkish government announced that they were suspending all flights to Sharm el-Sheikh, which seems to be a little bit overdue since the October 31st Russian passenger plane crashed shortly after takeoff from there. Allegheny Insurance, which owns Transatlantic Re, is going to pay $400 million to wind down reinsurance deals with AIG and Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. This is to cover policies dating back at least until 1986. Transatlantic Re will end contracts that covered asbestos-related illnesses and environmental liabilities. Transatlantic estimates that the latest accord will eliminate about 90% of its liabilities for losses relating to asbestos occurring in 1986 and prior years. Buffett's company takes on these risks. It's not yet known how the $400 million is going to be apportioned between AIG and Berkshire Hathaway. Thai officials earlier today acknowledged weaknesses in the country's aviation system that has caused the United States to downgrade the safety of the country's aviation industry to Category 2. This means that the Thailand industry is deficient in one or more critical areas, or that the country lacks laws and regulations to oversee airlines in line with international standards. This means that the Thai airlines are not going to be allowed to establish any new services in the United States. The European Union frequently follows in lockstep to the American authorities, and when the Thai transport minister was asked whether or not he's concerned whether or not the European Aviation Safety Agency would issue a similar downgrade, he said, yes, of course we are. The Thai military government ordered a complete overhaul of the Civil Aviation Authority back in March after they were told by the international body that organizes these inspections that they did face a downgrade They're expected to present their first plan in March of next year. The Thai transport minister said, "We have had limitations in training our people to become inspectors. We have 2,300 pilots and they have to renew their permits, but we don't have enough people to inspect and grant the permits." Meanwhile, in Vienna, the regular OPEC meeting is beginning today, and Saudi Arabia, the biggest producer, is seen once again to be ready to reject calls from fellow OPEC members to cut oil output. OPEC is widely expected to stick to its policies of defending their market share by pumping record volumes to drive rival higher-cost producers out of the market. Venezuela, which is a price hawk, is strongly advocating for a 5% cut, as is Algeria. However, without the Saudis' acquiescence in this, there's no way it's going to happen. Everybody will keep pumping to the maximum. Meanwhile, in Russia, there are no signs of a slowdown. The Russians are pumping oil at the highest possible levels, at levels not seen since the Soviet era. In the United States, where the market economy rules, some 20,000 job losses have already occurred, as United States shale oil production has been cut back as the price of oil has dropped from $115 a barrel 18 months ago down to below $44 a barrel. Other countries are not paying attention to market economics, and they are simply pumping away, driving the price lower and lower. Of course, from an economic perspective, they have few alternatives. Russia, Saudi Arabia, and the other countries do not have any other exports that people are willing to buy. The United States is not in that position. That's the news for today. Janet Yellen is speaking publicly later this afternoon. It's widely expected she's going to continue to stick to an expected rate hike of the interest rate later this month. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.